5-1 Robertson's victory. Back live now though on table 2. Intriguing battle this between Mark Davis and Ali Carter. Now Davis raced into a 3-0 lead. Carter didn't score a point in the first 2 frames, Davis making a century. Davis was in first in the 4th, but Carter battled back to win that one, won the next and had a chance to perhaps level up the match at 3-all. But just before we joined this here on Eurosport 1, Carter missed a black off its spot and it cost him the 6th frame. So instead of 3-all, Mark Davis is just a frame from victory at 4-2 in front.
And of course it doesn't get any easier either, because the winner of this match takes on the defending champion John Higgins in the last 16.
Higgins playing with yet another new cue yesterday, as spotted by the eagle-eyed Mr. Hallett.
Thank you very much.
He's gone from an ash cue with the grain point in one way to an ash cue with the grain point in the other way to a maple cue. And he certainly played very well yesterday with it. Knocked in back-to-back centuries, did Higgins. Looking to recapture his form of a couple of seasons ago when he was winning virtually every tournament he entered. Last season was not as successful for him, apart from this Shanghai Masters, where of course he won in such style against Judd Trump in the final.
Well, meanwhile, Ali Carter's got a bit to do here to be successful in this year's Shanghai Masters. He's up against it now. He'll be annoyed with himself missing that black off the spot, because it wasn't a tough black. It was about a 3/4 ball pot. Took his eye off it and finished up costing him the frame, and now he's got it all to do. Very capable of winning from here, of course. A chance here. Had a red to the corner. Chose to play the safety. This guy's in good form though. He's very confident at the moment.
Back-to-back successes in the 6 Reds World Championship. Hadn't reached the quarterfinals of a major ranking event before last season, but managed to get to a couple of major semis, including the UK Championship. Well, there was an air of resignation about that attempt at escaping the snooker from Carter, perhaps still frustrated at the manner in which he lost the previous frame.
Well, the miss has been called. Mark had a quick look at the red to the corner, but decided to have them put back.
Terry Camilleri is our referee. Always a test of the official skills when a miss is called and balls have been disturbed. Davis, I'm sure, relieved, because he would have been concerned to see his 3-0 advantage being whittled away and perhaps evaporating altogether before Carter missed that black off its spot. Carter just checking that he's happy with the position of the balls, and the players agree.
Well, I think he's trying to get into the edge of the pack here, around about the pink spot. Just a little bit of side on the cue ball, but he's going twice across now, going to the left-hand side of the pack. But the blue could be in the way, going across the table. Is he going back to plan A?
Well, he knows if he gets it wrong, it could potentially be his last shot of the match, so no wonder he's giving this plenty of thought.
Yes, he needs that cue ball to stick in the pack, Phil, doesn't he? If it slides off it, they could easily leave one on, as you've mentioned. I think it's plan A then. Well, that certainly wasn't plan A. I'm not quite sure what plan that was.
Hit and hope. Well, he hit all right, but I think hope may have fallen by the wayside. Certainly a red for Davis to go at, if not a couple.
Very surprised at that, Ali Carter doing that, because that was the frustration from the previous frame, I'm sure. But you know, he had options there. That wasn't the only shot he had on. He had options to try and get that cue ball safe, but that could prove to be very expensive. And the hope now is, of course, that Mark misses. But just look at these reds.
1. Seven. Eight. 14. 15.
That sounded a heavy contact as well. Hasn't quite gone far enough on the blue.21.
Well, so many options here for Davis. It's really just a matter of keeping his concentration, keeping control of the cue ball. Strange to relate that a 40-year-old should have a breakthrough season just 12 months ago, but that was the case with Davis, reaching the last 4 of the Wuxi Classic and the Australian Open, and then, as I mentioned, the UK Championship, where he beat John Higgins before losing to Mark Selby 9-4. Back-to-back 6 Reds titles and 3 in all now. That's clearly a format he enjoys. He's full of confidence.
Well, he'd like to get this match out of the way at this visit if he can, because he knows that Ali Carter is very capable of coming back at him. I think it was that last shot that he played, though, was born out of frustration from the previous frame when he missed that black off the spot. I mean, it's Ali had options there, but he decided just to throw his cue at one.
Got to be a little bit careful here, Davis, on the stretch.
Well, he obviously played the cannon. It's not too bad. He's got a red to the... As you watch this again, he's caught that too full. He wanted to hit it on the right-hand side. He's got one to the middle. He's got one to the corner. One good pot here just to keep the break going. Well, it's 5 reds, 5 blacks so far.
I'm sure that'll be the last thing on his mind. Victory is all important for Davis. I guess the challenge for him now, having reached 3 major semis, is to go at least one step further. Well, that was always a possibility. Very tight angle to find the pot from where he was, and a lifeline for Carter.
Yeah, the only reason I mentioned that, Phil, is because, of course, the maximum break prize has rolled over. It's now £40,000 for a maximum, because this is a full ranking event. That wouldn't occur in, of course, the PTCs, but if anybody does make a maximum, this week. That would be a nice little prize.
Worth having.
Especially if you win the tournament as well.
Yeah, that would take your earnings for the week to 120,000. That'll pay for a few Christmas presents. Mark King is a frame away from booking the first round proper meeting with Graham Dott in his wildcard match against Zhu Ying Wei. So Davis 40 points to the good then in the frame he needs for victory over Ali Carter. He'll be a little frustrated, however, that he couldn't make more of the chance he had before he ran out of position and missed a tricky red to left centre. This is also tricky. Well played in such a way that he was running away from the reds. Davis will be aware, though, that this match is a long way from being over. Carter these days is one of the toughest match players out there. And if he can get a chance to get back into this frame, he's more than capable of turning it around.
One.
Well, that's a great pot from Carter. Now, can he capitalise off the black and get right back in this frame?
Eight. Nine.
Well, Carter earned this opportunity with that fabulous long red, and the red's very invitingly placed to at least get right back on terms here.
15.
Only one red is tied up on the side rail.
And we know what he's like. He's a bit of a tiger, isn't he? We'll look at Mark in the chair, but Ali Carter, a tiger, and he won't give this one up.
playing with a new perspective after his recent illness. Very honest about the way he views his career to date. Felt that he hadn't actually worked as hard as he should have done
21.
before he was diagnosed with the testicular cancer, and he said that he'd got as much out of his career as he deserved, the inference being that he should have achieved more. And I think he feels now, having successfully beaten his illness, that he wants to apply himself more than he's ever done before. He's already a multiple ranking event titleist, reigning German Masters champion, twice a World Championship runner-up when only the great Ronnie O'Sullivan denied him.
27.
And of course he's had his long battle with Crohn's disease. He's got a lot of courage, has Carter, but he'll be very frustrated there with what looked like a heavy contact. Won this title, of course, 3 years ago, so he has happy memories of Shanghai. But that was a bit of bad luck, Mike. It looked like a heavy contact.
Yes, and now he's had a quick look at the blue, but again, we've seen these miss before. This could be a big shot here if he doesn't pop this in. Looks good. That's a great shot.
Fine recovery.
35.
Well, it wasn't a gimme, but you'd
Allister,
expect him to get it.
35.
And the question is whether he's left it. The look on Carter's face would suggest he might have done. It's tight, but I think it might go.
And of course, with 4 high-value colours here, with the open reds, he won't need that awkward red on the side cushion. He could do enough damage here, Mark, to leave Ali needed, well, if not 1, 2 snookers. But he's not, well, he's got a shot on the pink, but I think he might play the brown here. Pink would be better for him, can get the pink down this end of the table, but I think brown is the shot. Well, that sounded a bit heavy as well.
There have been a lot of kicks
5.
in the arena in the last couple of days here, and one suspects that the humidity has something to do with that.
Yeah, Ali was looking at the red and white as well when he missed that red to the corner pocket, and Mark definitely hasn't come far enough for his intended red. He's going to have to take on the more difficult red on the other side, and he'll be thinking, well, I might have another chance here.
Yeah, this is tough, particularly with the rest. Very missable under pressure. Big moment in this frame. And a great pot. But has he got position? Well, anywhere but there, really.
Well, I think the pink passes the green, so he will have a shot on the pink. It's a thin cut on the blue. Could still pot that, though.
Cameramen in the background there, capturing every shot.
Might even have a shot on the yellow.
Mark King, by the way, has wrapped up a 5-1 victory in his wildcard round match against Zhu Yingwei. So it's King against the former world champion Graham Dott for the right to meet Neil Robertson. Well, Carter can only sit and hope. This is the red he missed. It's never easy into a blind pocket when you're looking away from the pocket as you strike the cue ball.
Well, on that replay, Phil, it didn't look like it was a bad contact. It was probably just a bad shot, really. But Mark still has a bit to do here. Good pot there, though.
17 points to the good, still 51 on though. He's a missable.
13.
Again, position on the blue proves elusive, at least in the way he wanted it.
Yes, and we're taking a lower colour before. We now will need that red near the side cushion. Well, this again needs another good pot here to get over for this right-hand red. He's having to work hard here for these.
It was another good rest shot, wasn't it?
16.
Yes, it was. Well, he has a shot on the red here, but I say he still will need that one on the side cushion.
John Higgins, defending champion, remember, awaits the winner. Well, once again, it was a blind pocket shot.
Mark Davis,
Always
16.
the danger of pushing the red to the far jaw, which is what happened there. So a chance again for Ali Carter as we see a replay of the attempted red to left centre from Davis, drifting to the far jaw. It's all about that red on the side cushion with the colours on their spots.
Yes, he's got that problem now. Oh, I thought he missed that.
Played it with drag to hold for the blue, but very nearly saw the red stay on the lip.
Now, does he try to move this final red or just try and get him behind it? He's got to stun down and just miss the pink on the left-hand side with side on the cue ball. Well, he's thinking, is he wondering whether we might be going into another frame here? Now, can he get himself onto this final red? Missed the pink, there's the side. I think he's played to move that, especially at that pace. Well, there's no way he'll take this on. It's got to be a safety. Well, let's put it this way, I'd be very surprised if he does. Is he taking it on? Well, I can't believe that. I really can't believe that shot. Not at this stage.
And it was a somewhat half-hearted attempt, having decided to take on such a difficult red. He really got nowhere near it. One or two surprising shot choices from Carter in this frame. His escape from the snooker earlier when he crashed into the reds, a bit of a hit and hope. Looked like it might cost him the match. He got back in, of course, but that one was very high risk.
Well, he's just gifted this match to Mark Davis.
One.
If he lands on the colour, of course. Well, he's on the pink to the corner. He played on the black.
He's 16 points in front, so he needs the yellow as well.
I think he's laying the snooker.
Well, that's careless from Davis, you have to say. He shouldn't have given Carter another chance there. Yes, he remains the favourite, having laid the tricky snooker, but he should be shaking hands with Carter by now, and if he does go on to lose this frame, that might be a difficult mental obstacle to overcome. But it's another hit and hope. There's nothing Carter could do there except hope for the best, and he's left the yellow.
The miss has been called, but I don't think Mark will take it, because he can drop this yellow in and be on the green.
He only needs the yellow and the green to wrap up the match. And he's missed the yellow. Well, that can only be pressure. What a miss. Ali Carter must have been thinking he was on a plane back home there. And how important will that prove to be? Pure pressure, nothing more. That's going to hurt if Carter wraps up this frame. Still has some work to do, but if he can get on the green, he's the favourite. He's on the green.
Well, just log that yellow there, Phil, because, as you say, it could be a massive turning point in this match. We shall see. Still got the business to do in this frame yet, though.
It's been a strange old frame, this one.
Well, a couple of shots that Ali's played already. He looked a bit fed up and thought, you know, I've had enough of this, but all of a sudden he's been thrown a lifeline. Can he take it?
The attempted red along the left-hand rail was a strange shot choice, particularly given that he missed it by such a margin, having committed to play it.
9.
But he's been granted a reprieve courtesy of that Error from Davis. He needs the remaining colours. This is not as straightforward as he would have liked it to be, but you would expect him to get them. Wow. A lot of nerves out there, and it just goes to show it doesn't matter how good you are, how experienced, how successful you've been, the pressure gets to every player who's ever picked up a cue.
He's got away with it though.
And it's what makes this game so special, Mike.
It does. Yeah, absolutely. When the pressure comes on, it's amazing what happens, isn't it?
So, very much back in the balance this frame then. Davis, 11 points to the good. He needs just one of the remaining colours. Will he be tempted to take the blue on? It's very tough, but if he gets it, it's a frame and match winner.
Still has a chance to take us into another frame here.
Now where's the cue ball heading for? I think he's okay, but only just. Oh, heart in mouth time for Davis there, I'm sure.
He's left it. That is a poor shot. I think it's all over now for Ali Carter.
It should be. Just this blue to leave Carter requiring a snooker.
Some really strange shots choices from Ali Carter in this frame, Phil, when he had a good chance to continue the match. But it looks all over now. He needs one snooker and try and nail the pink.
Well, the pink stays out, so Carter, I'm sure, will play on. He only needs the one snooker, as Mike mentioned. Davis, I'm sure, will be relieved. It would appear he's done enough. Frames have been retrieved, of course, from this position.
Well, he got a big bounce there off that side cushion. It looked good, and it just sort of, the speed looked good, but it just pinged off the side cushion. And the thing is, with those sort of shots, you don't want to have the white flying around the table. And it's not finished too bad, considering he got the double kiss. Well, first and foremost, you've got to get the pink safe. And that needs to go onto that back cushion. Not bad.
Yes, an inch further off the cushion, and it would have been a cuttable pink for Davis.
Well, I'm not sure whether that's good or bad. They're always difficult, those, when you're trying to play the slow screw shot behind the black. Well, all Mark has to do here is just dolly the pink to the green pocket, and if it goes in, it's all over. Doesn't look far away. That looks pretty close to me. Oof.
Well, Carter will do well to keep this on the table.
Even match, Mark Davis.
Ali's had enough. So a handshake then. Mark Davis comes through. Ali Carter threatened to come back when he closed from 3-0 behind to just 3-2 behind. He had a chance to potentially level the match, Mr. Black off its spot, and had chances in that frame as well to extend this battle. But as Ali Carter signs an autograph or two, Mark Davis is celebrating victory. He's come through by 5 frames to 2, and he'll play the defending champion John Higgins in the next round.